Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, Professor Placid Njoko, the Speaker, Imo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Kennedy Ibe, distinguished senators serving and non-serving, and members of the House of Representatives who are here with us this afternoon, the leader of the House of Assembly and other members of Imo State House of Assembly, the chairman of this great occasion, one of our best and brightest, Chief Leostan Eke, the President General of Ohaneze Ndi Igbo worldwide, both at home and abroad, Ambassador Professor George Obiozo, the Chairman of Ohaneze Elders Council, Engineer Isi Iwayanwu Aheja Gamba Ndi Igbo, the Chairman of Imo State Elders Council, His Royal Highness Eze Dr. C.I. Ilomaya, the Chairman of Imo Traditional Institutions, ably represented by his zonal representatives, His Royal Highness Eze Isi Okeke, members of Imo State Elders Council, His Royal Majesty's traditional rulers who are with us here today, the former Deputy Governor, the former Governor of Imo State, Chief Ikedo Hakim, sorry for that skip, the former Deputy Governors who are here with us, almost all of them are here, Federal Commissioners from federal institutions, former speakers of Imo State House of Assembly, we have quite a number of them, the Secretary to Imo State Government, Chief Cosmos Iwu, the Chairman of our great party, APC in Imo State, McDonald Ebere, PhD, and members of his working committee, the Chief of Staff and Honorable Commissioners of Imo State Expanded Executive Council, all government appointees, distinguished leaders and statesmen, too numerous to mention. I'm overwhelmed by the number of very important dignitaries in this hall this afternoon. Therefore, if there is any omission in this my protocol list, please forgive me. Heads of security agencies who are here with us, great Imo sons and daughters, professional leaders, labor leaders, Imo citizens in diaspora, captains of industry, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year to all of us. Let me start by thanking the chairman of this great occasion for the wonderful act of generosity and appreciation he just showered to our state for the offer he made, for his concern in bringing the loads and cartons of problems that have been bedeviling our dear state to a situation where we can begin to, in pragmatic manner, begin to address these problems, starting from unemployment of our young men and women and that of the finishing school, that will make our young graduates real elite. I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also thank you for the ones you've been doing before this time and the more that you will do by the grace of God. My dear people of Imo State that are assembled here today, I want to thank you for finding time to honor my invitation to attend this crucial stakeholders meeting. I have said this before, and it is worthy of being repeated, that this regular interface with stakeholders, which I introduced since I assumed office as the governor of Imo State, is informed by my strong desire to connect with the people in the course of governance. There is no gainsaying that a platform such as this offers a strategic opportunity for government to fully involve our people in the democratic art of governance. I believe that the state stands to benefit when we engage the widest circle of opinion molders and influencers in the sincere effort to continuously improve our service delivery. Meetings such as this offer us the opportunity as a government to present not only an up-to-date report card to citizens of the state, but to equally bring them up to speed with the actions and directions of government. Thus, it is a cardinal stance of my administration to have regular open dialogues with the good people of Imo State about delivering the dividends of democracy. I therefore feel very happy whenever we have this meeting, knowing that updating stakeholders regularly on the latest developments in the state is the right thing to do. For the records, this is the 5th stakeholders meeting I have had in the lifetime of my administration. That means that on the average, we meet almost once every quarter. You will also recall that I have interacted with you at other stakeholders platforms. A few months ago, I met with the stakeholders from the 27 local government areas of the state, which included most of you. That meeting offered me a rare opportunity to learn firsthand the challenges and expectations of each of the local government areas. Needless to add that the information gathered therefrom has continued to enrich our policy formulation and implementation as a government. 2 weeks ago, I also inaugurated the Imo Elders Council. And many of you here today are also members of Imo Elders Council. The Elders Council can rightly be seen as a standing stakeholders committee designed to regularly interface with government in an advisory capacity. Its membership is drawn from every important stratum of the society: the clergy, the traditional rulers, bureaucrats, the business community, and public office holders. Going by the age, experience, and public service exposure of the members of the council, it can be described as the reference library of Imo State. I have no doubt whatsoever that the state stands to reap bountifully from advisory role of this council. All this points to the fact that the administration believes in an all-inclusive approach to governance, which was a major campaign promise of mine, clearly outlined in my campaign manifesto. I made that promise against the backdrop of what obtained in the state in the last years. I am sure that many of us will readily recall that once upon a time, in fact not too long ago, the governance process of Imo State was shrouded in secrecy. Not only did the Imo people not know how their state was governed, there was in fact a big wedge between the people and the government. So wide was this wedge that those who attempted to cross it to know what was happening in their government got marooned in it. I challenge anyone to produce one single document of the previous administration from 2011 that showcases this report card to the people of Imo State. It was this regretful state of affairs that informed my resolve to run an open, transparent, accountable, and inclusive government. As you very well know, on each of the 6 occasions we've met, I've documented an address detailing account of my stewardship. This is accountability in action. So I can proudly declare at this point that with your support, we have restored democracy in Imo State. Because we have restored the process of open, accountable, and inclusive government. Yes, we have banished the dark ages of government by necromancy, that is government by magic, and replaced it with government of the people, for the people, and by the people. I would therefore say a big congratulations to all of us. So while I sincerely welcome all of you to this special edition of stakeholders meeting, I must commend you for your unwavering support to my administration and for your genuine interest in the development of our state. Please continue in this state because patriotism pays. Besides, this is our state, and we must do everything needful to secure it as a worthy heritage for our children and for our grandchildren. Let me now try to take you through a journey of what I can consider my report card. This regular interface by which we get open and uncensored advice and criticisms from stakeholders has helped in the progress we have made in the state so far. Through this exchange, we have found common ground with our people on a host of issues that confront us since we stepped into the front seat as the drivers of the government of our beloved Imo State. May I now go ahead to report that we have made appreciable progress as a young administration, irrespective of the peculiar challenges we met on ground. The public sector workforce. Let me start this state of our state account by informing you that the public sector workforce has now been completely rejuvenated and better motivated to work for the interests of Imo State. Through a number of training and retraining programs, we have positioned our workforce for better service delivery. Only last week, for the first time in the recent history of Imo State, I had a one-on-one interface with our public servants. In that interface, I made a promise, which was also fulfilled, to pay a 13th month basic salary to civil servants. This is intended to help cushion the hard economic times occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic and to enable them have a merrier Christmas and a good New Year celebration. This, in addition to the fact that all verified workers and pensioners in the state are now receiving their salaries and pensions regularly as at when due. In addition, I also reached out to the vulnerable poor in the state. We tried to create a stimulus package. We drew a list of 26 indigent people from the 4,748 polling units in the state and was able to pack a patron sum of 10,000 naira to each of these indigent people to be able to celebrate their Christmas. I'm told that we did the same thing, 27 people at the ward level, 27 people at the local government level. The gesture was to make them feel the positive breeze of Christmas, since these people were very, very hard hit by the economic fallout of insecurity in the state and the consequential effect of COVID-19 pandemic. I am certain that these seasonal gestures went a long way in making life bearable for a good number of our people during the Christmas celebration season, particularly those who bore the brunt of economic hardship caused by COVID-19 pandemic and insecurity, which rendered most of them jobless. The Imo State Government Secretariat at Port Harcourt Road is receiving the much needed attention, which will rehabilitate all the buildings, restore water supply, restore electricity supply, and restore sense of commitment back to our civil servants and make the place functional and effective once more. As part of efforts to restore the psyche of the civil servants, I also tried to procure and present official vehicles to the permanent secretaries in the state, provided free bus transportation for other civil servants in the state at no cost to the civil servants. I restored the seniority and discipline in the service and ensure that the hierarchy and the reporting line in the service is respected. Today, the permanent secretaries are truly the accounting officers of their ministries. When I met and interacted with the civil servants 2 weeks ago, their genuine appreciation of the transformation that has been achieved in the system gladdened my heart. I'm also happy that through the automation process, I installed in the service transacting businesses with government by automated system and programs. But beyond that, we've been able to send packing the payroll fraudsters who were shortchanging Imo State government billions of naira monthly. This was outside the 500 million naira which a previous government was paying to consultants that was hired for the purpose of updating the payroll system. We returned everything about to the payroll, nominal role of civil servants back to the office of the head of service. As part of our effort to address the welfare of workers, I have reconstituted and inaugurated the Civil Service Commission, which is now looking into the issues of non-promotion of civil servants since 2014. As soon as the commission is able to do the needful, all those awaiting promotion will be promoted. The 2022 People's Budget, I'm happy to inform you that I have signed the 2022 Appropriation Bill, otherwise known as the 2022 Budget, into law, christening the budget of wealth consolidation and recovery, the People's Budget. The 2022 budget has a broad objective to ensure that our efforts to deliver our program of shared prosperity through wealth creation and recovery come into force this year. This budget of 381.4 billion naira is made up of recurrent expenditure of 96.7 billion and capital expenditure of 284.7 billion. In essence, the capital budget provision is over 74%. This is the first time in recent history that there is a clear budgetary emphasis on capital projects. The huge outlay for capital expenditure underscores the determination of my administration to build upon critical infrastructures, especially roads, that would transform the economic landscape of our dear state in 2022. The budget also presents a clear signal that we are going to pay more attention to the welfare of the citizens of the state in core value chain. In core value chain areas of health, education, agriculture, industry, youth empowerment, and job creation. I anticipate that by the end of this year, Imo State would have witnessed a tremendous infrastructural transformation that will set it on an irreversible path to economic growth. And that will make all of us very, very proud. We are packaging now a 10-year economic development plan that will further define our economic roadmap for Imo State. This non-participant document will outlive my government to serve as a credible economic compass for the administrations that will come after me. In a few days' time, my administration will be 2 years old. I deem it necessary to update you on these genuine efforts we've made and are making. Our intention is to change the narrative of governance from the decadence and chaos we met on ground to the onerous task of restoring a true pathway to progress through democratic, inclusive, and accountable governance. We may not have reached the promised land, but I can assure you that it is in sight and that we are marching sure-footed with our eyes firmly focused on our destination. Recently, there have been every attempt by enemies of the state to remove our focus from the ball. But I can tell you, my eyes continuously will be on the ball. I dare say, by the grace of God, that we came prepared. Therefore, the daunting challenges we met on ground cannot deter us. I believe that we have made appreciable progress in arresting the rot we met on ground. This required courage, sacrificial patience, and wisdom. I pray to God Almighty for guidance and the strength to do that which must be done. I have no doubt that God heard our prayers and answered our prayers. I was fully aware that the buccaneers that held the state hostage in the past would fight back with all energy at their behest. I knew they would employ every manner of antics to blackmail and hoodwink me into submission. But I remained confident and steadfast in the battle because I knew that no matter what they do or say, they will never be able to find any evidence of corruption against me. Because not only that I came to serve the people and not to steal from the people. He who is in me is more than who is in them. That is why every malicious propaganda and falsehood they have contrived against me in the social and the conventional media and other places has fallen flat on its face. This is because no evil plot against an innocent man will ever see the light of the day. So, my beloved Uzodimma, let us soldier on with confidence and faith, because God is with us. However, there is always a price to pay for any genuine reform. In this case, for example, there was an initial delay in the payment of salaries and pensions as a result of the automation process. But the good news is that we have overcome those challenges, and verified civil servants and pensioners are now being paid as at when due. I have also given a firm instruction. To all genuine cases of omission or otherwise to be addressed immediately. But for today, ghost workers shall no longer receive salaries in Imo State, and no consultant shall siphon our money anymore. It is laughable that as soon as I took over the reins of government, some people started shouting that Imo roads were bad and needed to be reconstructed. Some even made short videos making a mockery of the name Uzodimma. But the same people were here since 2011, when acid rain couldn't allow any roads. When matters started deteriorating until they got to the stage we met on ground. But in my characteristic manner, I took those harsh but misplaced criticisms as the burden of leadership. I rolled up my sleeves and comprehensively started addressing the dilapidated road infrastructure. I'm happy to inform you that no fewer than 90 roads are either under construction, completed, or about to be completed. The roads cut across the urban and rural areas and the 3 senatorial zones of the state. Of the 99 roads, 32 are fully completed and commissioned. You will recall that President Muhammad Buhari was physically present for the commissioning of some critical roads completed by our administration, including the flood control mechanism at Chukwumawoha Road, otherwise known as balloon-driven tunnel. Landlords whose houses had been abandoned prior to the building of the tunnel and subsequent recovery of the road are now very grateful to this government for the development. The ongoing construction of Owerri-Olu and Okigwe to Owerri dual carriageways, when completed, will not only serve as some of my signature projects, but will act as a great stimulant to the economy of the state. The same contractor that is doing Owerri to Okigwe, Owerri to Olu dualization, which is meant to be commissioned by April this year, as soon as they complete the job and is commissioned, the same contractor will be deployed to Ebu Mbise to Abia Road. What do we want to achieve? We want to prove that once again, that Imo State can build good quality roads that can outlive not only my administration, but subsequent administrations to come, just as the ones built by our beloved Dave Sam Bakwe of blessed memory. The completion of these roads will no doubt boost socio-economic activities in Imo State. The overall objective in this massive road construction and reconstruction is to strengthen the state's economy by boosting commerce, industry, and tourism. In addition to that, we have initiated a solid urban renewal program that has given Owerri, the state capital, a facelift. the remodeling of the roundabouts at Warehouse, Government House roundabout, the fire service by MBC Road, and other places in the capital have beautified Owerri and has also eased the movement of traffic. Because one of the things we did when we came on board, we conducted a traffic survey that pointed out that the Okorocha roundabout was responsible for all the go-slows in Owerri. So we have to do what is done in other climes, and we will continue to do more. Almost all the roundabouts in Imo State will be remodeled to a 21st century standard roundabout. More remodeling is currently ongoing. The Akwakuma roundabout and other roundabouts will also be completed this year. We have kept our promise to return to massive road construction once the rains are over. Works have started in virtually all the roads, and all the new ones we are yet to award, because this is construction season. To this end, the road construction has recommenced on World Bank to Umuguma Road and the Emmanuel College to Mexico Hospital Junction. The MCC to Toronto Junction has been redesigned, and construction will start this month. I will provide you a catalog of the status of road construction going on currently and the status report, which will be documented in a booklet and shared to stakeholders. The planting of ornamental trees around the capital city is meant to bring back Owerri to its premier position as the city to beat in Nigeria in terms of neatness and ambience. In specific terms, the road projects which we have recovered from the cemetery to life again includes Opera Noze Street, Amiibo Street, Edede Street, Ring Road in Uzodimma Housing Estate, Lekwebere Street, Olokoro Street, Umuahia Street, Okeipe Street, Arugo Street, Eboma Street, Ngwa Street, Douglas Road, Ring Road behind Concord Hotel, JP Ajelu Street, Thomas More Street, Benwaku Street, Ashbikin Dennis Road in Uzodimma, Assumpta Ibadoba Port Harcourt Road, Federal Secretariat Road, now called President Muhammad Buhari Drive, Dick Tiger Road, Dick Tiger Street, Akash Road, now even Enwerem Road. You recall the horror experience of going to Relief Market before I came on board. The Relief Market Road has been restored. Imo University Teaching Hospital Road, Olu, has been completed and awaiting commissioning. Construction and rehabilitation of Egbaada Bypass, now Chief Emmanuel Iwayanwu Road. Maintenance of the third section, we looked at the Owerri Sobo Road, and the best thing to do is to build a brand new road. As I've said earlier, the moment the Okigwe Olu by Kremborg and the Owerri Olu and the Owerri Okigwe is completed, the same Kremborg. If you recall, when I came on board, in my search to have a standard quality road, I invited Julius Beja. We had an MOU. Apart from that, Julius Beja, their hands were very full, and they needed 4 years to deliver these two roads. And I needed these quality roads, not only on these two roads, but at least 4 roads. It is our dream to, after delivering Owerri to Okigwe, Owerri to Olu, Owerri to Obo, up to Abia Junction, we want to properly dualize the federal road going from Owerri to Aba Because that is the first road. That is the first road when you land at our airport coming into Imo State. The first impression is that road. We must upgrade that road to a world-class road constructed by a world-class company. In doing that, Julius Berger had a very difficult offer, and their presentation did not meet up the requirements and desire of my government. Through a competitive bid between Julius Berger, CCECC, and Kremborg. Those of you who know Kremborg, you must have seen their handwork in Lagos. They did the Epe Road, Epe Express. You must have seen their handwork in Ogun State. They did the Abeokuta Express Road. They are doing all the bridges in River State, in Port Harcourt. They have just completed Anambra Airport. And then they came here, they had a more responsive bid. And their offer was acceptable to me because I could afford it. So I now engaged with them. So for those people saying it is not Julius Berger, Julius Berger is not known in any other country in the world outside Nigeria. And because I came from the private sector, I cannot be intimidated with the local drama and cosmetics. You understand? So I understand the business. So I am going to deliver. We are going. Kremborg will deliver their roads with a 35 years warranty. 35 years warranty is not a joke. So I am confident, and given my background as a project manager, I'm confident that what they have is what we are looking for. We recall the ordeal, how we lost Chukwumawanha Road. We have completed Chukwumawanha Road. We are now doing the Naze Nekede Ihiagwa Obinze Road. We have commissioned the first phase. It will get to Port Harcourt Road before the end of this year. And we will also commission it. All I ask, those who carried that video that went viral, that Uzodimma, now Uzodimma, please let them do another video and go viral. We did Okigwe roundabout. Okigwe roundabout, St. Mary's Church, Okigwe, Opala Road, is awaiting commissioning. The Stadium Road in Okigwe has been completed, awaiting commissioning. Junction improvement works at Imo State University roundabout is also completed. Junction improvement works at Warehouse roundabout is completed. Junction improvement works at Fire Service roundabout is also completed. The improvement work at Naze roundabout is also completed. The most critical roundabout, which is control post, unfortunately, I have to engage more discussions with the stakeholders, particularly our Archbishop, so that once I get his consent, I will deliver the roundabout. On the other hand, the following 50 roads, these following 50 roads, which must be completed this year, many of them that are already under construction. The construction of Ahera Junction, Opala Junction, 22.7 kilometers. Construction of Aba Branch, Ahera Junction, 10.6 kilometers. The construction, rehabilitation of Nkume Umuawa Olu Road, 6.9 kilometers. Construction of Mbudi Oguta Lake Road, 11.7 kilometers. Construction, rehabilitation of Imo State University Teaching Hospital Road, 2.5 kilometers. Construction, rehabilitation of Naze Poly Junction. The segment that has not been completed will be completed this year. Ihiagwa Obinze Road, 17.1 kilometers. Dua Carriageway. Concord Road, Jacob Zuma Road. Concord Road with spur to Port Harcourt Road. Construction of Imo State University Road, Bishop's Court, 2 kilometers will be done this year. Construction, rehabilitation of Okigwe roundabout, St. Mary's Church, Okigwe, will be expanded and the roundabout upgraded. The construction, rehabilitation of Ogo Oro Anya Avoto, Umunachi roundabout. 7.85 kilometers. Construction rehabilitation of Douglas Naze Junction, 5.1 kilometers. Construction rehabilitation of the control post at Sumter, I already told you what is holding on. So we have in your booklet, which you will take, list of all these 50 roads that must be completed this year. The reason why we have printed it in this booklet is that you take this booklet home. By the end of this year, those ones that are close to you, go and check them whether they have been completed or not. We also have some critical roads within Owerri. I've been accosted by some people as to the massive concentration of road construction in Owerri. I believe truly, and truly I believe, that the symbol of Imo State is Owerri. And whatever impression anybody makes of Owerri is the impression he makes of Imo State. If we get Owerri right, we have gotten Imo State right. So it is on that note that we are able to, and government after government, the truth of the matter is that we should not beat our chest too much, because I have not seen government of late that have done any road in Imo State. All we need to do, all we have been doing, is rehabilitating and reconstructing roads that were built by our fathers and forefathers. I've never seen any government broke a forest, brought a new road, maybe do a new road now to go from here to Enugu without going corner. We've not done that. It is blamed on the poor economy. But there was a time in this country that we had the money, but we didn't know what to do with the money. So I don't want to be a victim of transferred aggression. I will use your money, your limited resources, prudently, to the best of my knowledge, and do our jobs in a very cost-effective manner that will bring value for money. Trust me, because I come from the private sector. You know. So, having listed all these roads, the issue of internally generated revenue. We have also completely rejuvenated our internal revenue generation capacity. We have automated most of the processes. It is our hope that by the end of this month, we will be ready to go. And when that is done, our revenue earning capacity internal will be greatly enhanced. We have also recorded increased internal revenue generation through strict implementation of the Single Treasury Account, TSA, thereby curbing revenue leakages from ministries. Even though I'm aware that some public officers are still sabotaging the TSA system, but the new technology we have brought will be like an electric shock to those who want to defraud government. I'm pleased to inform you that based on the reinvigoration of the internally generated revenue capacity and the industrial stimulus packages we have put in place in the state, we are projecting a monthly internally generated revenue of 5 billion naira every month. Another boost to our internal revenue generation was through the domestication of Imo State Debt Management Law, number 6 of 2021. This was passed in June, and it is a great milestone for the state because even on that alone, it attracted a $2 million grant from CEFTAS and World Bank to Imo State government. Before I came on board, World Bank grants, Imo State was receiving only loans. When I came on board, we queued into the CEFTAS program. No government received a dime. In 2020 ending, we received 3.5 billion naira from World Bank grant for good governance. In 2021, we received $7.5 million from World Bank. Grant is not loan, for good governance. This is accountability in action. If we have the certification of World Bank, if we have the certification of World Bank, what is remaining? The global economic meltdown has made it imperative that alternative sources of revenue must be provided to boost the economy of our state, outside revenue from the oil sector and federal allocation. Part of the initiative here is to ensure self-sufficiency, particularly in food security. To achieve this, we put in place the necessary incentives to activate the interests of our youths in agriculture. We want to encourage modern farming, bring all the type of technologies available anywhere in the world, to encourage our young men and women who have graduated. I don't want our people to begin to see food production and farming as a job that is meant for those who are not elitist. Farming and agriculture is the new economy, globally speaking. So we must cue into the new trend. What works in US, what worked in London, what worked in Italy, what is working in other states like Kaduna can also work in Imo State. Only the commitment of our people is what we ask for. In this respect, we are engaging the federal government to complete the dams for dry season farming at Iyishi and Okigwe. We are also engaging the Central Bank of Nigeria and other relevant bodies that have facilities for those in agriculture to consider the state and our people. Also, the state government has embarked on the expansion of the oil palm plantation base of the state. We have now replanted over 150 hectares of land with oil palm seedlings at Adapam, at Ohaji, and Ngopal. Investors are currently being sought to take over our rubber plantation for repositioning and replanting. I'm talking now with the Dunlop Tires to come and take over our rubber plantation, set up a tire industry inside the plantation, and then do partnership with our government. I have engaged with them. Dunlop came from South Africa twice now for the meeting. If all goes well and the business is consummated, we will have Dunlop manufacturing tire plant in Imo State. These measures will not only enhance internal revenue, but greatly boost the economy of the state. It will also create over 50,000 jobs on completion. We have resuscitated the Acharugo Integrated Farm Estate. The Acharugo farm in Emekuku that has been abandoned so many years ago. We have completely rehabilitated it. We have renovated all the buildings. And we have engaged 200 young men and women from Owerri Federal Constituency to take over the farming. It will be commissioned this month by the Senate President. And that will also allow our young men and women to be busy. Apart from taking over the ownership, I have concluded an arrangement with Central Bank to give all of them startup capital so that whatever they produce in those farms, government through the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Services have secured warehouses to buy off all the agri products produced in that farm and then given to our cooperative societies. We have registered over 200 cooperative societies in Imo State. Every local government will have a cooperative societies who will be automatic distributors of the fish, the chicken, the food items that will be produced from our various farms. We are talking of food security. We want to feed our people. Our people must eat. And once we can eat, then we can reason. And once we can reason, we can develop. In tourism, we are charting a new course to boost the tourism potentials of our dear state. We are taking stock of the active and latent tourism assets in our state. And we are building a digital backbone for tourism development in the state. The State Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts has now embarked on the profiling of the hotels and hospitality industry with a view to identifying, regulating, categorization, and standardization of all hotels, all restaurants, fast food outlets, event centers, travel and tour agencies, and other tourism-related enterprises in the state. We expect to commence the recertification of all tourism facilities this year with a view to enhancing access and ensuring best industry practices that will truly transform Imo State into the hub of tourism east of the Niger. To my surprise, Imo State is among the states that do not have family-friendly recreation parks for family and group outings and picnics. That will soon be a thing of the past. This past Christmas season, we created a themed seasonal park to provide a conducive environment for families to enjoy the Christmas holidays in Owerri. On a more permanent basis, work has commenced on the new Owerri Recreation Park, located at the banks of Owerri River. Remarkable progress has been made in the first phase of this project. When completed, the Owerri Recreation Park will stand as one of the largest parks in Nigeria for recreation and leisure. This will help to further boost our thriving tourism industry in tandem with our vision of making Imo State an irresistible tourism destination. The work that is going on there will not only have our people to use the place as a tourist park, we will open a marine transport between Warehouse Roundabout to the end of Owerri and Otamiri River. And we are talking with a French company to bring two floating restaurants. These two floating restaurants will be a restaurant of world class, that you go into the vessel, before the vessel will serve from one point to the other and back, you would have finished your food. Then you disembark. The promotion of our culture in all its ramifications is also receiving a big boost. At the 2021 National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST, held at Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, Imo State won several laurels and won the first prize as Best Costumed State. We are looking to extend the promotion, propagation, and protection of our culture, our values, and our heritage. We want to encourage our young men and women to take interest so that at the end of the day, our cultural heritage will speak for us. Soon, we shall unveil our tourism roadmap together with Imo State Tourism Guide, our culture and tourism calendar, and an assortment of digital resources to promote Imo tourism. In the area of housing, we've been able to recover, and we will continue to recover, government-owned houses, renovate them, and put them into use. We have repaired and renovated many houses within the government house. We've recovered the roof and the 10 administrative blocks at our our public servant secretariat. We will continue to do that. In the area of public, in like manner, we have completed the construction of a brand new ESCO chamber. I was told, or I heard, the former governor said he built the new ESCO chamber. We started it from scratch, completed it, and furnished it to a world class, and brought Mr. President to commission the new ESCO chambers. Other projects undertaken include the renovation and furnishing of Deputy Governor's Lodge, building and furnishing of a new brand official residence for the Commissioner of Police. We have concluded arrangements for a mass housing program to provide affordable shelter for a majority of Imo people under a public-private partnership arrangement. The housing estates will be sited in the 3 senatorial zones of Okigwe, Owerri, and Olu. To this end, we are going to build 750,000 houses in each of the senatorial districts of Imo State. So we have acquired the land. The Okigwe people have already donated land. Olu people are trying to donate their land. We have secured the land also in Owerri zone. So everything is set to go. As soon as we are able to conclude that, work will start in earnest. We are also designing an estate for Imo workers under a mortgage arrangement. We believe that providing such an estate will save our workers from the agony of retiring from service without a home of their own. We have also embarked on the total renovation and the furnishing of the main building of Imo State House of Assembly, built by the then Sambakwa administration, abandoned for over 10 years ago. It is a funny thing that Imo State House of Assembly is squatting in a small place as the House of Assembly. Before the end of February this year, that is next month, we will have almost the best House of Assembly in Nigeria in place. Education. My government strongly believes in the provision of qualitative and quality education, a functional education. Imo State can be rightly described as the education capital of the Southeast because education is the foremost industry in the state. We are very cautious of the near insatiable appetite of our young ones for education and knowledge. For us, one of our greatest achievements in the education sector is the recovery of K.O. Mbadiwe University for Imo people. As you may well know, the university was built and furnished with our taxpayers' money of not less than 40 billion naira. Yet an individual brazenly wanted to appropriate it to himself as a privately owned establishment. I am glad to report to you that by the second week of December 2021, that is last year, I received the certificate of ownership for the university on behalf of the government and people of Imo State. Today, as we speak, that university is now the rightful property of Imo State. Another university may not be a priority investment, as some analysts have suggested, but the K.O. Mbadiwe University is already there, and we need it for our children to go to school because of the problem of admission. And we would be losers if we do not put it into use. It takes zeal, determination, strategy, and courage to achieve this feat. Expectedly, this salutary recovery we've made for our dear state has continued to provoke jabs and all manner of conspiratorial plots against me for those who wanted to appropriate the university. But I'm not daunted. The interest of our people is more important to me. What is more, God is with us. Ndimo, I want to congratulate you for the recovery of this multi-billion naira university. And by the time we finish what we are doing in that university, I can assure you that the university can compete favorably with any university anywhere in the world. The accreditation of the College of Education in Uzodimma, that is Senator Ben Wajimogu's College of Education. The accreditation for them to run various courses, including professional diploma in education, in affiliation with Imo State University, has also been successfully implemented. The new management of Imo State University has started repositioning the university to regain its lost glory. I am confident that when the job is done, the university, and indeed all the universities owned by Imo State government, will fittingly compare with the best universities anywhere in the world. All we need is quality education. There is no good education that is free anywhere in the world. So we don't want to hide under the guise of free education and destroy our children to the extent that when they graduate, they are not employable. So quality education is key, and government must bring out a strategic arrangement to ensure that education is not only available to our people, but also affordable. So we are working with the technical committee on that to ensure that our universities and tertiary institutions are in position to compete with any of their mates or colleagues anywhere in the world. My beloved Ndimo, it will interest you to know that our recovery searchlight is permeating in all sectors of the economy. We have recovered markets built with state funds, but handed over to cronies of some administration before. We have also been able to strengthen market associations in a manner that streamlines the collection of government revenue, just as it enables them to defend their rights as traders. Following the cry by Owerri indigenes over the demolition of the popular Ekuku market by the previous administration, my administration has embarked on the construction of a state-of-the-art ultra-modern market in Ekuku to assuage the pains of the people. The market, which has over 3,000 shops, will house a police station, banks, a fire service station, and many other facilities and services that can be obtained in any modern market, any part of the world. The Ogumabiri women will also be accommodated in the new market. We are on the verge of producing an industrial policy for the state. This has been missing over the years, and that has impeded the growth of industries in the state. Consequently, we have engaged the services of United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, to help in this regard. A few weeks ago, UNIDO met with stakeholders in Imo State, brainstormed on the formulation of an industrial template for the state that will take cognizance of the comparative advantage of each local government area, as well as their peculiar needs, starting with the low-hanging fruits, which will be renovating and rehabilitating those abandoned old industries built by Mbako administration. Once we put them live, those will serve as our low-hanging fruits. And then we go into the next segment, which will be total industrial revolution through a public-private partnership. Also, a few weeks ago, the Vice President, President Yemi Osibanjo, commissioned a cluster for fashion designers in the state under the Imo State Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Clinic. This will help our skilled dressmakers to practice their trade, as the cluster is fitted with well-equipped industrial sewing machines where they can make trendy dresses, including T-shirts and face caps for industrial use. I advise those in this profession to make use of the facility, since the facility will be opened towards the end of this month. My administration has also commenced moves to revamp all the moribund industries in the state. This administration has paid the debt owed to AMCON. The asset management company of Nigeria seized our standard shoe industry for a debt of 1.3 billion. I want to inform you that only last month we have completely paid the debt, and the shoe industry has been handed over to Imo State government. We are now working out programs and ways of making sure that the industry will be put to use so that we can create jobs for our people. Government may not do it directly. I therefore invite all of you who have a program that is tangible enough to guarantee a win-win situation, so that through public-private partnership, the standard shoe industry can come back to life. I am hopeful that operations will commence in that industry in the next few months. Investors have also indicated interest to take over the Insutais company in Ehime, and our poultry farm has to be resuscitated. We have made efforts. The original company that built the poultry from Israel, we are expecting them here 22nd of January. When they come, I'll hand over the poultry back to them. And all we need is for the poultry to be functional, for the industries there to be functional, for our children to be employed, to be profit. If you can convince me that you are technically and financially proficient, I will give it to you. We have now registered over 200 cooperative societies and organized rural farmers, artisans, workers in the private sector into micro businesses for sustainable capital formation and increased productivity. Some cooperative societies were linked to multilateral finance agencies such as the Agric Loans Board, Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions that are supporting agriculture. We have made giant strides in the health sector through the provision of basic medical services in primary, secondary, and tertiary health areas. In this respect, the renovation and the equipping of 305 primary health care facilities across the state is ongoing. We equally provided 28 ambulances for the primary health care development agencies to use in each of the local governments in Imo State, in the 27 local governments, as well as 20 Hilux vans, one Toyota Hiace Hummer bus, and one 18-seater Toyota bus for quick response and efficient healthcare delivery services. We acquired 10 mobile clinics from the United States as an improvised arrangement during COVID, and they were deployed to the rural areas for free medical services. The doctors were nominated by the churches, and we gave the 10 vehicle clinics to the churches, and their mandate is to take these vehicles, these clinics, to the rural areas, identify those who are not able to afford their medical bills, treat them and not charge them. Every month, we spend an average of 5 to 10 million naira buying drugs and equipping those clinics. I think that you take advantage of the services to help our brothers and sisters at home who are not able to afford quality Medicare for themselves. We acquired this during COVID because of the protocol that we have to follow, the COVID-19 protocol. Our efforts at containing the COVID-19 pandemic is also worthy of note. Our achievements in this respect can be measured through the low number of infected persons in the state since the outbreak of the pandemic. Government has continued to take adequate measures to curtail the spread of the virus across the state. The COVID-19 task force, headed by one of our own, Professor Maurice Iwu, they have done a fantastic job in making sure the awareness is now incremental in our state. But I must warn, however, that the pandemic is not over yet, as the Delta and the Omicron variant are still ravaging the world. Experts believe that they are more dangerous than anything. The Delta variant is more deadly, while the Omicron variant spreads faster. I want to assure you that we shall be doubling our efforts to ensure that our people are safe. We must keep observing the COVID-19 protocol by maintaining social distancing, wearing of face masks, washing of hands with soap and water, and the use of sanitizers. But beyond this, there is scientific evidence that the safest protection against the virus is through vaccination. Therefore, let us take advantage of the opportunity provided to take the COVID-19 vaccination, which is free and has been confirmed to be safe. I have taken it, my family has taken it, the president has taken it, very important personalities have taken it. We have no problem being vaccinated. So therefore, help me convince our people to submit themselves to be vaccinated. Once you take the first, second jab, in fact, I have done the booster jab. We also have in stock now, limited stock of the booster jab. So for those of you who are around and they are available, you can also use this opportunity to take the booster jab, because that is only the perimeter fencing for the virus so far. As part of our efforts to improve our healthcare delivery, we have installed a digital X-ray machine and 6 dialysis machines at the Imo State Teaching Hospital. And we have also completed 4 blocks of buildings in the institution. We have also constructed and equipped a molecular biology laboratory and renovated the main surgical theater of the teaching hospital. I can assure you that if you visit the teaching hospital or loan now, you may not even recognize it again. One major area of remarkable achievement in the health sector is the reaccreditation of our nursing and midwifery schools. Our nursing school at Abombise and the midwifery school at Awamama lost accreditation in 2017, but we've been able to get them accredited. Renovation works on the dilapidated structure in the schools have also been completed. Very soon, they will commence admission of new students to the glory of God. We lack sufficient nurses in Imo State, and the reason is because we lost our nursing schools and midwifery schools. The moment they start and begin to admit and train, our hospitals will have the technical manpower once more to function efficiently. It is also noteworthy that since 2018, Imo State University Teaching Hospital has not been able to graduate medical doctors. I am very glad to report to you that we have broken the jinx. This year alone, the institution graduated a total of 130 medical doctors. Thus, clearing the backlog of frustrated students who could not graduate for years, counting up to 11 years. Land administration. On assumption of office, this administration retained the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set up by the immediate past administration to review allocation of land and other related matters. The commission has successfully completed its assignment and submitted its report. Thereafter, the report was studiously analyzed by the Executive Council of our state, after which a white paper was issued. All this followed the due process. The white paper agreed with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry that all the lands and related matters illegally acquired by any person or persons should be revoked and returned to their original owners, be it governments or individuals. The white paper also directed that the original Owerri master plan should be restored. When we began the implementation of the recommendation of the white paper, that was the beginning of our trouble. Now, the Royal Palm Estate, which was built on Greenville with taxpayers' money, was sealed. And the former governor brazenly went to talks to forcefully unseal the estate. He challenged the government to back up with the white paper with a court order. In any event, there was already a court judgment by a case he initiated which supported the white paper. This we did. A court of competent jurisdiction ruled that the former governor should forfeit over 200 properties belonging to either the government or individuals which he illegally acquired for himself and members of his family. We have since recovered those properties. The Share Camp area have an Eco College of Education which used to belong to Imo State. We struggled and we successfully handed the institution to the federal government. Federal government took over Abanikoko as a University of Education. It's something that we must encourage because the wage bill has since been transferred to federal government. Now, for whatever reason, the previous administration decided to seize their lands, revoke their lands, allocate these lands to individuals and relations, including Share Camp. We have just commenced the recovery. The Share Camp land illegally acquired has also been recovered. I want to assure you that this year, our irreversible recovery train will move at maximum speed, and all illegally acquired lands and related matters shall be duly recovered. This is about land. There is another judicial of inquiry by Justice Iheka, the Iheka Commission of Inquiry that looked into the award of contracts, which recommended, we had some far-reaching recommendations. As early as possible this year, we will look at it and prepare the necessary white papers, and also we will implement the recommendations as approved by State Executive Council. To further protect the original design of the master plan, we invited Nigerian Institute of Town Planners to partner with us in the restoration of our capital city. We took this step to arrest the decay in the master plan of the Owerri Capital Development Area, involving the erection of illegal structures and destructions of extant landmarks in the capital. And these are being done by very powerful individuals, those who say they are powerful. I think the law is the most powerful instrument, not individuals. I want to advise some of us who are still buying illegally acquired lands. Don't waste your money, because I'm coming. I'm coming to take back the land. No, we cannot hear. Only last week, the Nigerian Customs wrote to me asking for 25 hectares of land to build a customs barrack that will take care of the whole of Southeast and South-South in Imo State. Will I, because some of you have hijacked our land, tell the customs that I have no land? The answer is no. I will get a land. In fact, I have written to accept that they should come and take the land. We'll look into our documents, because the original master plan of Owerri has provision for barracks, for both police, for customs, for anything. So if you are my friend, don't say because you are my friend, you go and buy a land that is going for 200 million for 1 million, because you come and convince me. You can't convince me, please. So I want to advise that we respect ourselves, restore sanity to our state, restore orderliness, recognize due process, and do things the way it should be done. It is only by doing that that we can be friends. I have nothing against my friends benefiting from the government. In fact, I will encourage that both my friends and those who are not even my friends to benefit from the government. But there is a limit to which we want the law to be compromised. That is only the qualifying clause. So as long as we do things rightly, the government belongs to all of us. We are certain that restoring the master plan of the Owerri Capital Development Area will enhance investor confidence and stimulate the state economy through creation of jobs. Government has also intensified efforts in the determination of boundaries of Imo State and the neighboring states, especially the boundary issue between Imo State and Rivers State. As you know, or you must have heard, 17 oil wells belonging to Imo State were wrongly assigned to Rivers State, thereby denying Imo State her fair share of revenue accruable from these oil wells. The matter is now awaiting the final determination at the Supreme Court. It is our hope that it will be disposed in our favor, because the National Boundary Commission has come here, met with the delegation of Imo State and Rivers State, and did the delineation and clearly showed, the report shows that the oil wells belong to Imo State. So there is no reason for us not to have what belongs to us. So, administration of justice and the rule of law. We have continued to maintain effective dispensation of justice by the judiciary in line with the rule of law, while ensuring that the interests of the citizens of the state and the government are protected. We have also set up a law reform commission to review obsolete and outdated laws inherited from the colonial administration and old eastern region. Some of these laws are encouraging criminality because the content in them are very negligible penal clauses where somebody commits an offense and the law allows him to pay 1 naira. And when they made these laws, 1 naira was a big money. But now 1 naira is nothing. So the Law Reform Commission will look into all these laws that will bring sanity to the society, improve on the penal clauses, and recommend objective and more realistic ways of handling offenses. The objective is to make sure that all operative laws in the state reflect modern day and 21st century societal realities. Local government administration. We plan to focus more extensively on local government administration this year, so as to bring the government truly close to the people. This explains why I have elevated the Bureau for Local Government Affairs to a full ministry. Furthermore, in the coming weeks, we shall release the names of the members of development centers in the state, which will herald the reactivation of the centers for more efficient service delivery in the rural areas. To facilitate this, all town union presidents, duly recognized by government, not those ones that appointed themselves, shall be made automatic members of the development centers. Youth empowerment and skill acquisition. Because of my desire to equip our youths with the necessary skills for self-employment, I established the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Skill Acquisition. So far, and in collaboration with federal agencies, we have trained over 30,000 youths in different skills. We have also started different enterprises for them. This exercise has cost us a whopping sum of over 8 billion naira. The sharing news is that thousands of our youths have been set up in their self-employment with a potential economic value chain addition that will certainly boost the economy of the state. You are aware of the barrage of security challenges this government has faced since assumption of office. Our first challenge was the politically sponsored protest against the government shortly after we took over. The sponsors did not pretend about their objective, which was to make the state ungovernable for me. By the grace of God, they failed. Then came the NSAS protests, which rocked the whole nation. As you know, this was followed by orchestrated attacks on police formations and the killing and maiming of policemen and innocent citizens. This later developed into a full-blown assault on the instrumentality of the state institutions, culminating in the attack on the Owerri Correctional Center, which led to the illegal freeing of over 1,830 inmates from custody. Thereafter, the security situation in the state took a nasty turn for the worst. The criminals released from the correctional center infiltrated into the society and began to terrorize our people in different parts of the state. People's heads were chopped off at will and displayed at market squares as if they were ornaments for sale. However, with the cooperation of the security agencies and the support and assistance of the federal government, we have been able to overwhelm the bandits. Today, Imo State is enjoying relative peace to the glory of God. However, while all these were on, little did we know that there was a group of criminals who had advanced criminality to a cannibalistic level. About 3 weeks ago, security agencies stormed their hideout in Osun local government area, where shocking findings were made. The hideouts provided a dumping ground for the corpses of the victims who were murdered in cold blood across different parts of the state. But the most horrifying of the discoveries was that the criminals roasted different body parts of their victims and feasted on them. Put simply, these are not only criminals, but cannibals as well. This is the height of abomination in Igbo land. What a putrid tale to tell of our state in a 21st century. It is very sad indeed. Very, very sad. The good news is that we have rounded up the criminals and they are now in our custody, in the custody of the law enforcement authorities. You will recall that as a government, we have repeatedly maintained that some of the security breaches were politically contrived. This was based on intelligence at our disposal. As the Igbo adage says, this saying, when a child is crying and pointing at a particular direction, it must be because either his mother or father is there. Now you will recall that a few weeks ago, I assured you that my administration will name those behind insecurity in the state during this stakeholders meeting. I want to tell you, after that statement, the whole issue has been politicized. Social media took over the space. Conventional media did not help matters. And I don't want to spoil the good work the security agencies are doing already. I want to crave your indulgence to let us allow the security agencies to finish their investigation, arrest those that are responsible, and charge them to court. Those that the last time I discussed with security agencies, I must single out a special commendation for the security agencies in Imo State. They were attacked, but they rose to the occasion. The progress and successes they have recorded over this period has convinced me as to the competence, capacity, knowledge, and expertise of our security agencies. I have said it times without number. I have no personal grounds with anybody. All of you who know me well in Imo State, I tried one time or the other to contest election. In some cases I won. In some cases I did not win. And when I didn't win, I left back for my businesses. When I won, I served the people with all my heart. I have many former governors in Imo State. I have Governor Ashiku Denwa. I have Governor Ikero Hakim. Former governor. Okorocha, former governor. But none of them wants to take the whole state as a private property. The difference between the other former governors and Okorocha is that he is out of office, but he still wants to be in office. Okorocha is a younger brother to me. I'm older than him. If not anything, traditionally, I deserve to be respected by him. I don't want to join issues with him. Let him just know that he's no longer the governor. And for the short period I will be here, God's willing, he should allow me to answer the governor I am. One thing I assure you, my beloved leaders, is that under my watch as your governor, I shall do all that is necessary to maintain and sustain a peaceful Imo State. We shall not allow anyone to hold this state hostage. We must thank the personnel of our security agencies for their diligence, for their commitment. We must commend the Nigerian police, commend the Inspector General of Police, commend the Nigerian Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Civil Defense, the DSS, for making sure that Imo sons and daughters came home for Christmas. If anything bothered me, that was the only thing that bothered me. How can we celebrate Christmas outside our state? They did it. And I think it's over and over. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I believe that I have presented you with a detailed picture of the journey so far. I have outlined most of what we have done for your scrutiny and verification. I have also informed you of some of my priorities going forward. This is enough evidence that our administration is open and transparent. In my view, therefore, this regular stakeholders meeting offers a veritable platform for scrutinizing the actions of government. This being so, it sounds reasonable to suggest that it should be institutionalized by law. In other words, My suggestion is that we should make a stakeholders meeting with a sitting governor, a statutory and a mandatory exercise, which should hold at least twice a year or a maximum of once every quarter. There should be provision for penalty against a governor that fails to comply with the law after he or she leaves office. This way, incumbent governors will at least be cautious of the legal imperative of accountability. If I have your concurrence, I will forward an executive bill to Imo State House of Assembly for legislation. Let me use the opportunity of this auspicious gathering to call on all women in Imo to join hands with me to work for our people. As the saying goes, the sky is big enough to accommodate all the beds. Let us join hands together to make Imo State great again. We must accept the fact that there is time for everything. Time for electioneering campaign and time for governance. We are done with the 2019 governorship elections. This is time for governance. Let us come together in the interest of our people and work for the development of our state. No one man can do it alone. I therefore invite your ideas, interrogate your consciences, put the interest of the state forward, approach your governor who is approachable, and jointly we can deliver Imo State. My beloved Imo, I want to reiterate my resolve to serve you with all my heart and with all my strength, with the fear of God. One thing you can be assured of is that under my watch as your governor, not a pin belonging to Imo State will ever be unaccounted for. Another thing you can be sure of is that our dear Imo State will become great again. Our infrastructure will improve beyond your imagination. Our health and education facilities will become the pride of all. Above all, everyone will be part of the government, and everyone will know what the government is doing. Imo State shall be for every Imo person and not for one man in particular. I want, therefore, to crave your indulgence to recognize and pray for the souls of our brothers and sisters who died callously in the hands of the bandits. And if you agree with me, may we rise for a minute silence. May the souls of our brothers and sisters, citizens of Imo State and residents in Imo State, who died callously in the hands of these evil men, and the souls of all the faithful departed through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen. Thank you. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for your patience. God bless all of us. God bless Imo State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Once more, Happy New Year.
Felix Ndupe, are you there?
So having said that, please sit down. Having said that, I want to wish all of us a very successful deliberation going forward. Thank you.